Welcome back. It's time to fill in the fall spaces. That time of year of gardening where you look around and your plants should have realized their full potential by now, and their full potential isn't quite working with the space that you have. So maybe there are some spaces you can fill in. It's also a time of year when garden centers have some pretty good discounts on some plants, particularly perennials, because they would like to offload them and clear the decks, as it were, before their season is over. So some good bargains can be had and some spaces can be filled this time of year. So with that in mind, take a look at the space behind me here. Okay, I did relocate a lot of hostas from that space because what happens this time of year is those hostas, there was a big tree that was taken down a couple of years ago, and that used to be full shade, which was fine for the hostas. But now, much of the day, it gets too much sun and the hostas start to scorch. So I've dug up several and relocated and put in some plants that are, more appropriate for full sun, yet damp conditions, because that's still what we've got going on here, like the hibiscus, which is now in bloom, looks fabulous. Joe Pieweed, I'm standing up on a ledge. This is over 6 feet tall, and it is a butterfly and pollinator magnet. In fact, there's even a bee sleeping on here overnight. I don't know, can you see him? There he's amazing. They just kind of hang out here and wake up and start to get active again when the temperature warms up. There's also some lobelia, which likes damp sun conditions. I've also got a few other things, but I would like to, I've got a rose at a good price, so I'm going to put that in there. It's a once blooming rose. Now, I've never done that, but it's got a lot of thorns, so I thought I could sprawl it over my fence, and it's very fragrant, and maybe the thorns will protect it from rabbits. So I'm going to give that a try, see what happens. In the meantime, I picked early morning to do this. That's why I'm kind of keeping my voice down. I don't know if my neighbors are up yet, so it's good to do these kinds of jobs that are a lot of heavy lifting, really. I mean, a lot of work. Do them early in the morning before the sun and the humidity and the heat really takes its toll. So we're going to get at it early and get going. I've got my hard work overalls on. Okay, so let's get it done, and we'll check back later and see how it looks. But let me show you the before picture. Here's before. Now I do have some hostas I'm going to leave in place. This is and some other plants, obviously. This hosta, because I think it will be shielded by the 7 sun, which I'm probably going to prune into tree form next year. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep it here. So I'll probably keep this hosta in place. But some of these back in here in the corner, I'm going to relocate, and I think that's where I will put the alchemist rose. Purple pillar hibiscus, this is the best it's ever done, and it's because I had to protect it from rabbits and move away some of the other plants that were choking it out. I've kept it wrapped with galvanized chicken wire so that it can get tall enough so that the rabbits have, given up sampling. This is the 3rd year it's in here, and I have yet to see a bloom, but sometimes these things just take a while. In the meantime, I do have some relocated daylilies, which have bloomed. They look good. There's a couple small little hostas in there. I might keep those, but I am going to move some of these, that particular clump, right there. And I move that clump probably right there and put it behind some trees. The morning glory, I have to stay on top of the little seed pods once they get done blooming, because as you know, these things can be downright invasive. But after they get done blooming, that one is yet to open. After they get done blooming, I just trim these off. And I found that when I gather them up in a little tidy pile, the neighborhood possum that I've named Penelope, possum comes by and eats the seed pods. I don't know what to tell you, but I like these sweet little purple flowers. They open up and follow the sun. Hummingbirds like them. And bees love the blue fortune agastaki. See how they've started? They've started to arrive. The bees are here. And they're at work. So, all right. Let's see. And now you can see the scorch on the hostas right there. They've just been brutalized. They're ready to bloom. I've got a bloom spike they've shot up. These have just been decimated by slugs. But I want it to get enough sun, so I picture a little space right in here. I'll move that batch of hostas, relocate them, and put the alchemist in there. That's kind of what I picture. So let's see what we've got. Okay, so here's a planting hole that I will prepare and add a little bit of dirt and some aged cow manure that I got from heirloom roses. Again, keep in mind this area is a challenge, not just because squirrels like to bury their nuts here. They also just roll down the hill from these beautiful black walnut trees. And black walnut has juglone, which is a way that protects its own tree, its own family, basically, from competition. So basically just black walnuts can grow in its root zone or drip line. So I will probably move the last of these hostas here on the corner too. They get fried by the sun. But you'll notice just right here, hugging the fence, those aren't so bad, and that's because they do have the benefit of the fence for shade from the worst of the sun. So I'm gonna put the alchemist right here, let it sprawl over the fence so I can see those pretty blooms here on this side. And it should be in bloom roughly after Tangutica here on the fence and my lilac bush there in the spring. So, all right. And here is the finished position of the alchemist. So it doesn't get morning sun, but we'll get later sun. So that's what we're hoping for. Open. Gabe says hello. Oh, never a dull moment. And here's where I put the hostas that I dug up in my hosta garden. back there in the corner, which was pretty sparse. And filled in a couple here. So I'd like this to be full and lush. It does mean doing some supplemental water, at least here in the beginning, to get them started, because I don't have drip irrigation back here. That's a cicada, I think. Anyway, so I've kind of filled them in here. I'd like this to be nice and lush and green and not see so much wood mulch. That's the goal anyway. I put another clump right back in here. So I'll keep an eye on those and keep those watered. And I did give them just a real light fertilizer. Just to, oh, hello. Hello, buddy. He's been my guardian. Yes, if only I could get you to go after slugs. Wouldn't that be nice? I know. Anyway, so I'd like to get this nice and lush and fill this in with some varying leaf shapes, textures, different colors of hostas. That's the goal anyway. So far so good. Oh, and there's one more thing I did move back there. There is in this corner, as you can see right there, that is a Gatsby from Proven Winners, a oak hydrangea, which has never bloomed. It's been back there, 5 years now. It's bigger than it's been in the past. I think the rains that we had this spring and summer have helped it. And I've fertilized it and protected it from rabbits over the winter, but still has never bloomed. So I dug up half of it, and let me show you where I moved it. So in here, in my north garden, my damp north garden, this side gets sun. That's why these hostas are scorching. And slugs go after them because they're not in the best of health because they get too much sun. So this is next on my list, is to relocate this bunch of hostas. But anyway, this side gets sun and this side is shade. And back in here is where I put that other half of the oak leaf hydrangea. So we'll see if she does any better there. I mean, these hostas have been thriving, have been doing great. I mean, yes, there's some slug damage. I don't put down slug bait because of Buddy, because of the dogs. I've had them go after and lick it. And I don't think that's very healthy, even though I put down, I have tried it in years past. And yes, it does work, but again, it just doesn't feel like that's the safest thing. So I just don't do that, because these guys get into everything. They just, any new smells, what's that? They learn about their yard and their backyard by putting it in their mouth. It's almost like a toddler. So they chew on everything or lick everything. So I can't trust that. You know, so when they're outside exploring, I don't want them to get into any sort of trouble. Anyway, so I think that'll be a good fit. Boy, it is busy pollinator day today. I have got bees very active right now. I just stay out of their way. They love this blue fortune here. That's what we've got. That's it for this episode of Milkweeds and Roses. If you have questions, let me know. And there are a lot more garden tasks to do before fall actually sets in. So we've got a couple of weeks for that yet. Busy time, just trying to beat the weather and the rains, which are now on the way. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me. I do hope that you like and subscribe this video. And again, let me know if you have some questions. And on behalf of Buddy and Gabe, see you next time. How's it going? You tired, dog? tired. How's it going? Sunbathing.